Back.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Lexi Reynolds, and I am the Associate Director of International Graduate Admissions at the Lyle School of Engineering. I am very pleased and honored to be with you this evening. And so I wanted to just kind of present a little bit about what the School of Engineering is here in Dallas, and just a few more other things about our application process. And then I wanted to open it up to questions. Because those are the most important things, is for you guys to have those answered. So let's get started. So we are located in University Park, a suburb of Dallas, Texas. And we are one of the Southwest's premier engineering schools. And SMU was founded in 1911 and then opened its doors to students about 4 years later after building. And then the School of Engineering here opened up in about 1925. So we've got a pretty long history. So a few things about Dallas, Texas. People are starting to call it the new Silicon Valley. So the Silicon Valley is actually a part of California that had become the big kind of place for the tech industry. And so with so many Fortune 500 companies and Global 500 companies moving to the Dallas area, people are starting to say this is where a new tech hub is starting to form. So what does that mean for its students who are here at SMU? That means great opportunities for internships and CPT and OPT, and the possibility of job opportunities after graduating. So a couple of quick things to go over. Rankings. Niche.com has recently grown pretty popular in ranking not only programming and universities, but some of the other aspects of institutions. So like being ranked number 27th for best college location, and they've ranked us 58th for the best engineering school in the US. And then the US Newsweek has ranked us 66th best national university. So SMU's school population in total is about 11,900 students. So not a terribly big institution, but that's got, I think, quite a few bonuses. You're really going to get to know, other students as well as your faculty. And at the graduate level, I feel like that is extremely important to start really building that network. And with the Lyle School specifically, with 40% of our international population, or our population is international, you're really going to get a unique group of students. So this is just a quick pic of our engineering buildings. So this is the engineering quad. So everything that our students pretty much need is right within these buildings. So let's talk about our school itself and what we offer. So with 5 academic departments, if you are looking for something in engineering and the technical disciplines, we offer over 27 plus programs. So in civil and environmental engineering, computer science, electrical and computer engineering, engineering management and information and systems, and mechanical engineering. So what's kind of housed within all of these departments? So this is some of the research that's going on campus right now. So I want to kind of leave this up a little bit so that you can take a look. I know that there's a lot of words on there. So lots of research going on campus. We are trying to achieve one of the highest honors in institutions and universities in the US, being a Tier 1 research institution. And being a smaller private institution and on target to reach that, that's a pretty powerful statement. And it just shows that we have the right faculty and doing the right things to be a really good engineering school. So everything from, cybersecurity, AI, clean water, you have a lot of options for research. So we'll take a look at our master's degrees kind of in each program just really quickly, and then we'll talk about the PhD programs, and we'll move on from there. So in civil and environmental engineering, we have civil engineering, environmental engineering, and then a Master's of Arts in Sustainability and Development. So the GRE is required for civil and environmental. And I wanted to talk really quickly about these next few slides. The GRE requirement will be posted on these slides because it is program specific. So as you can see, it's not required for the Sustainability and Development program. So there are specializations in civil engineering. So you are, during the application process, asked to choose one, kind of where you're looking to go within the civil field. So then in computer science, we have computer science, cybersecurity, and then software engineering. And then the computer science degree is actually working on restructuring their concentrations. So it's going to be more concentration focused. So software computing, artificial intelligence, they're really going to focus on those areas instead of just a broader degree. So, and then the GRE is required for this department for all their programs. They're probably one of the most competitive in our school. So now for electrical and computer engineering, so they have the computer engineering, electrical engineering, and then telecommunications and networking, network engineering. So with telecommunications and network engineering, that does not require the GRE, just something that is closely, an undergraduate degree that's closely related to that degree. Both electrical and computer do require the GRE. So then we have our engineering management, information and systems, which would be what we call the EMIS department. So very unique kind of niche programs within this department. We have a lot of overlap for students who are interested in more of the management side of things, but still working in the engineering field in more of the STEM related fields. So then we have mechanical engineering, so 2 MS programs, so mechanical and then manufacturing management. And for the GRE, it's only required for the mechanical engineering. Okay, so then we have a couple of multidisciplinary programs. And so what that means is that some of these programs, you take coursework between some of those different disciplines and those different academic departments. So data engineering, data center systems engineering, and then another Master's of Arts in Design and Innovation. So one of the things that I have seen become increasingly popular is our dual degree programs. So we work with our School of Business, and you're able to have a Master's of Science and the MBA within 2 years. So it's a pretty heavy, quick program, but we're seeing a lot more interest in this. So, and then the doctoral programs, these are within all departments. So we have our PhDs and then a DE. And so those DEs, that is a doctorate of engineering. And so those are people who are looking to stay more in the field instead of, for like the PhD, some people are looking at more of becoming a professor and staying in academia. And then for all of our doctoral programs, the GRE is required. So let's talk a little bit about the application process and how that all works. So application deadlines, so for the spring, it was September 1st, and then for the fall semester, it will be May 15th of 2021. So applications are open right now, and these deadlines don't waver. They will always be the 1st and the 15th. So let's kind of talk about the overall materials. I know we talked about the GRE a little bit, but let's talk about what the application file actually looks like. So unofficial transcripts can be uploaded into the application itself. Official transcripts are only necessary after being admitted. Then we're looking for a GPA of a 3.0 or above on the US grading scale. And you do not need a WES evaluation or any other type of credential evaluation. We have people in-house that will take care of that for you. For that GRE, we are looking at the quantitative score specifically in the 80th percentile and above. So I believe that's a one, we're looking at like a 162 and above for that quantitative score. Then we're looking for a statement of purpose, and that's about just a one-page document on why you're thinking that this program that you're applying to in the Lyle School of Engineering is a good fit for you. What are you seeing yourself doing with this degree? Again, really doesn't have to be very, very long. And then we are looking for a resume, so it can be professional or academic. There is no true like graduate student anymore. So what I'm trying to say is that you have students who are coming right out from their undergraduate degrees, like just earning their bachelor's and going into master's degrees. And then you have people who've been working for 30 plus years and they decide, oh, I think I want to get my master's, and come in and are students here. So you've got a broad base of backgrounds, so which also brings a unique aspect to the learning experience. So again, professional or academic, if you've done research in your undergrad, if you do have that work experience outside of school, those are things that you can highlight on the resume. Letters of recommendation are optional for master's level students. They are required for those PhD candidates and those DE candidates. If you feel, I know that we have a lot of students who say, well, I might not have, quite the GRE score, or my GPA might be a little bit lower. Go ahead and submit. If someone will write you a letter of recommendation, go ahead and submit a letter of recommendation. Also, we will need official proof of English proficiency. So Duolingo, IELTS, and TOEFL. So Duolingo, we are looking at the test that is scored out of a 160, and we're looking at a 110 minimum. For the IELTS, we're looking at a 6.5 band score, and for the TOEFL, we're looking at an 80. So what's next? after you have submitted that application, your application file will go into awaiting materials. So what does that look like? So once your transcripts, official scores, so official GRE and official proof of English proficiency, we need those official sent to the university. Once those are all uploaded and all your materials are there, then you'll move into transcript review. And once our central office is done making sure that the GPAs are equivalent and things like that, they will move it to the program review. So with the program review, these are your faculty members who are reviewing applications. So it's not a central office. These would be the people that you would be working with. So after you move through program review, you'll be reviewed by the department chair of your specific intended department. Once they review and make a decision, if you're admitted, you'll get a letter and an email stating your offer of admission. Once students accept their offer in their admissions portal, it will start the I-20 process. So there's no deposit required. It's just accepting that offer to start that I-20 and visa process. So we want to talk a little bit about tuition real quick. You can see that we have a lot of kind of different pricing for tuition. Most students are the on-campus. We're looking at the on-campus programs. So the $1,200 plus the general student fee is per credit hour. And so you're looking at 3 hours per course. So roughly about 48,000 US dollars for the entire program. So a lot of people want to know, you're looking at your decisions and you're trying to make all of those, trying to answer all the questions on going through this entire process. And of course, one of the biggest ones is, how am I going to pay for this? So we tell students that, all scholarships at the grad level are held by the department directly. They're the ones that take care of them. They start with PhD students first and then are given to master's level students, and they're either in the form of a TA or RA position. And if you're looking for funding, the best thing to do is email me and I will get you in touch with the academic department. So, like I said, here's my email address. That's the best way to contact me. So that is about my presentation, and I just now want to open it up to questions. So I'm going to start taking a look at some of these questions. Let me take a look. So what is the required minimum score for Duolingo? So the minimum score for Duolingo is a 110 minimum. Okay. Okay. So there are no full scholarships. There are those funding opportunities that we kind of talked a little bit about. So I can put you in touch if you would like with particular faculty members that you're interested in working with. Just go ahead and email me about your specific situation and we can kind of talk through that. Okay. So reading a couple of these. There is a English as a second language program here on campus, but we usually try to encourage students, if you're looking into, improving on your English proficiency, we do have conditional admissions, but the way that works is you apply and you submit all documents required for the application process, and then the department will consider doing conditional admission. And then that way you would be able to do the IEP program here and then complete that, and then you would still be admitted to the engineering programs. We do not have a representative in Turkey. I actually, a year ago today, was actually in Turkey and was, as we are all dealing with this COVID situation, so I am not traveling. Usually I am all over the globe. So this is how we are doing it this year. But once travel restrictions kind of become more lenient and we are able to travel again, I will be in Turkey several times a year. So because I know that our dean's office is working with an institution in Turkey and in Istanbul specifically, trying to work on a 4+1 program. So once that information becomes a little bit more public, I will be sharing it. So stay tuned. Let's see. I'm not sure how many Turkish students we have. I know that we have admitted, I think, 4 or 5 for this upcoming spring semester. And we actually have several faculty members who are from Turkey, and then our senior associate dean, who will hopefully be joining me on our next webinar. He is actually from Turkey as well. Okay. So you do have the ability to do an internship, and then the opportunities for OPT and CPT as well, once you've completed 1 full year on campus. We have something called the Heart Center, who they work with our students specifically on those opportunities. And like I said, kind of at the beginning of this presentation, we are becoming, Dallas itself is becoming a really, really big tech hub. So we have companies, working with our students all the time. I would say that they're on campus all the time, but at this moment, it's kind of this same situation in this type of a setup that they're meeting with students. But there are career fairs several times a year specifically for engineering students, as well as the big SMU fairs as well. We do offer, and we've just started offering all of our programming at the MS level online for students. So if you are unable to do to come to the U.S., but you're still wanting a U.S. degree, and from the Lyle School of Engineering, you can do it 100% online. Okay. So yes, we do have undergraduate programming here at SMU. I do not represent our undergraduate programs, but if you do have questions about them, if you want to just send me an email, I can get you in touch with our undergraduate team. So, question about how we are dealing with the pandemic, and which is actually a really, really good question. I know that, if you are looking at schools, you're trying to figure out, is studying abroad, a good fit for me? Where is that best institution? And then how are things being handled in the midst of this pandemic? So I think SMU has done an extremely good job about, having students back on campus. So students are on campus right now, but then doing it in a very safe manner. So over the summer, we came back into the office, I think in June. And so they started putting in new air filtration units. And at that time, they started mapping out what fall was going to look like on campus. So they have these red and blue cohorts. So students are on, if some days are red days on campus and some days are blue days. So is it the most ideal? No, because we all kind of want things to get much more stable and have, a true university experience for students. But students were ready to come back. They surveyed them and said, are you looking to do, come to campus this fall or not? And majority of students and parents were saying, yes, we're ready. So all buildings on campus are being utilized to have classes. So in our engineering buildings, we have classes that are not even engineering right now, to make sure that all faculty and staff and students are socially distanced within the classrooms. And then masks are required when you are in public spaces on campus. And then the cleaning has definitely intensified. It happens a couple of times a day on campus. You'll see the cleaning crews. And then I really think that students are doing an excellent job. We have several student workers who come in and they, clean their desks after they leave. So I think it's all about just respecting the space and the current situation and saying that we all want to be here. And we want things to, become stable again and kind of start living, a post-pandemic life. So that's kind of some of the things that we're doing here on campus. Okay. So score for the GRE, so it's that quantitative score, and we're looking at about a 162 and above. So that 80th percentile is what we're looking for, the 80th percentile. Just reading a couple more of these. I would be happy to send my PowerPoint in a PDF version to those of you who are interested. So it was asked if I have been to Turkey, and I have been twice now. I was actually right before everything went into shutdown. I was actually in Turkey and then came home, and that's when we went into our lockdown, into the quarantine. So it was a really interesting experience. But I love Turkey. I really can't wait to get back. Food is excellent. So, let's see. Do we have any Turkish restaurants near campus? There is one. My dean was just telling me about it, and I can't remember what it's called, but I will remember that for the next set of these webinars. So I will share that in the next one for sure. Okay. These are really good questions. So there is flexibility about GPA, and so when faculty members are reviewing, it's a holistic review. So they look at every single thing that you have submitted within your application file. So there are some programs that rely heavily on the quantitative score of the GRE, but we know that in college and when you're starting out your undergrad degree, there's a lot of big changes that are happening. And so if you had a semester or two that was a little rough, looking for more of an upward trend in GPA. So as long as you were improving along the way, that is going to be a very positive thing in your review. So after graduation, you do have the chance to do OPT. So that does give you some work experience. And then there's an extension for being in a STEM program. So I think that's an extra year. So you do have that opportunity. Okay. Take a look at. So our application deadlines are pretty strict. If there is someone who is looking, at really wanting to attend the spring semester, I highly encourage you to email me, and we can kind of talk about maybe making that a possibility. There are no promises though. Let's see.
Alex says there's one more news question from questions box.
Yes. Okay. So how long is the OPT duration? So let me look, because I want to give you the right information. So 12 months, and then the STEM extension is 24 months. So a total of 3 years. And then let me see. Okay. Just want to make sure that I haven't missed anything that we've kind of talked over. Okay. Looks like we've kind of covered everything.
I think, if I'm not wrong, we missed a few questions. For example, let me check.
Okay.
What is the score? What score is needed for GRE, for example? I may wrong. You already replied it.
You want me to put that in the chat?
The questions box.
Oh, in the questions box. Okay. So the GRE that is required is a 162.
There is also one more new question
Yes.
from Ahmet. It is, can you tell us about Dallas a bit? How is the city?
Sure, yes. So Dallas and is right next to Fort Worth, so they call it the Metroplex. So it's actually quite big, but where the university is actually located, it's kind of in one of the suburbs, so it's a little bit, it's very, very safe. There are days where I am up here really, really early in the morning because I talk to students all over the world. And so sometimes it's really, really dark outside, but campus is extremely well lit. And being in a suburb, we have the campus police, but then also the University Park police. So there is a lot of safety. I've never felt unsafe on campus. It's not a terribly big campus, so it's tucked in a neighborhood. It's really, really nice, and it's quite beautiful. So Dallas is a big city. I'll actually show, let's see. So in this picture, this is the skyline of Dallas. It's pretty famous for its skyline. If you are interested in sports or in art or in the outdoors, there is kind of something for everybody here. I live close to one of the lakes, so I get to go and walk my dog out by the lake. But then I could also go and have dinner in Uptown and feel like I'm not even in the same city. So, and then I could go to Fort Worth, which is a little bit of a drive, but that is kind of where that cowboy culture is very, very well, like that's well known about Texas. You can see it when you go to the stockyards, and you have restaurants there, and you could go to all sorts of places. So really cool city. I've been here about a year and a half. Yes, about a year and a half. And it's a really cool place. I'm always finding new things to do. We have the Texas State Fair every single year, except for this year. So I see another question. I'm going to see. Let's see how far. So the South Fork Farm says to be about currently 28 minutes from campus. So it takes about 28 minutes to get there. You guys ask really great questions. So what I want to do is in the chat, I'm going to put in a couple of our web pages that are really, really helpful resources. So we'll put these all in the chat. So our graduate degree programs and our international student page, which will have our, I'm working on our events calendar. So you'll be able to see all the events that we'll be hosting over the fall and spring semesters. And then I'll put the FAQ page there as well. And then I'll put the Apply Now page. So just some helpful tips and tools if you're looking at the Lyle School of Engineering. And then I am always a resource for you. I am happy to help with questions. If you're going through the application process and need some assistance, that is what I'm here for. I will put my email back in the chat as well. So thank you all so much for sharing part of your evening with me. And hopefully we will get to do it in person again soon. But I look forward to talking with you guys on our next chat that the SMU School of Engineering, Lyle School of Engineering will be doing. So are there any last questions?
Alexis, just let me check. Maybe I may missed it, but I see a question in chat box. If you already replied it, just let me tell you. Can we attend master classes online and after graduation, can we have work permits?
Okay, so you can take, so if you are here in the US and taking classes, and if you want to take an online class, like one, possibly two are permitted. But if you're here, most of your classes will be in person. If you are taking classes outside of the US, everything can be done online. And then there are work opportunities, internship opportunities. That might be something that I can talk about in our next webinar of this series. Yes, so that is a really good question about our masks still being worn in public. Yes, not just on campus, but in all the Dallas area. We have, some of our restaurants have opened back up and some of other types of activities, but it is requested and required to wear a mask in public. Good question.
Before finishing the webinar, would you like to add some things, Alexis?
I think just that I am here and available to assist with questions and concerns, and am really, it's been a pleasure being with you guys this evening.
Thank you so much for this great presentation. It was really informative. Hope to see you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye-bye.